I put mayo on.
It hasn't gone away yet, Jackie.
Exactly. We saw a scorcher of a day yesterday for 4th of July, very similar to the day today, especially into the afternoon. We're already tracking those temperatures right now in the low 70s, Boston, Fitchburg, as well as Worcester, otherwise into the 60s elsewhere. We're seeing visibility issues mainly down toward the south coast, the Cape and the islands too, down to less than a mile of visibility for Martha's Vineyard, even New Bedford coming in at less than a mile too. So we'll continue to see that visibility being lifted over the course of the next couple of hours. Across southern New England, though, we are still dry. That will change as we look ahead towards tomorrow. Today, though, we're tracking cooler at the south coast and the Cape and the islands due to an onshore breeze, but farther inland, we could be nearing 90 degrees later on today. Otherwise, mainly sun-filled. Increasing cloud cover later on this evening ahead of that cold front that's going to be sweeping in for our Saturday. But ahead of that cold front, that's when we are tracking some scattered thunderstorms. The latest details on the timing of those coming up.
All right, time now for a check out on the roads. Here's Elena Pinto.
Madeline, good morning. Good morning, everybody. All right, here we go. Store Road Drive back open. You can see the cars driving on the street. Both eastbound and westbound should be open. I think you're good to go. It's going to be wide open almost everywhere this morning. Check out the commute on Route 1 southbound in Saugus. Looking great. It is going to be great even over the Tobin right now. I think a lot of people are taking an extra day off, as you should. Very green on the maps. No crashes, no breakdowns. Your drive time is quick, 12 and under across the board. If you are taking the trains, you can expect delays on the red line.
Breaking overnight, an 8-year-old girl is shot and rushed to the hospital in Dorchester. She is expected to survive. Another man, though, also shot and seriously hurt. It happened at a park near Dudley Street and Folsom Street just before 11 o'clock last night. Police say they have not made any arrests.
Also breaking overnight, Boston Fire says at least 20 people have been forced out of their homes by the fire that took over 2 triple-deckers in Dorchester. The chief says the fire started early this morning over on Mount Everett Street. The fire department says the fire caused about $1 million worth of damage. It's 5:33 on your Friday morning. Let's take a look at your day's other top stories. And a fire on an airplane forces passengers headed from Boston to London to try and find another way to get there. It was this Virgin Atlantic plane. You can see the fireworks there in the background. It had to make an emergency landing at Logan Airport last night during the 4th of July. Police say that smoke and flames started coming out of a passenger seat. Investigators believe it was caused by a phone charger battery. All 217 passengers on board were evacuated. The flight was headed from New York to London. And people in California are feeling aftershocks from a huge earthquake. Look at the rattling in this video here. It was a 6.4 magnitude earthquake that hit on Thursday. The epicenter was in a small community about 150 miles north of Los Angeles. Part of that town was badly damaged. Scientists say this is the worst, most powerful earthquake to hit Southern California in about 20 years.
Now at 5, the man hurt while trying to help stop a stabbing inside a Worcester restaurant is describing the deadly attack this morning. As he recovers, he's talking about the moment strangers banded together to keep the suspect from running off.
I started hearing a scream.
A murder suspect being carried by police following a stabbing inside this Worcester restaurant and bar.
I rushed around a corner, and I saw a woman, and she was doubled over, and there was a man who was standing behind her. He was kind of on top of her.
Alan Corson Jr. says he and others in the restaurant ran to help.
There's one guy who's standing behind him, and there's a guy who's standing behind me, and at the same time, I'm holding him, I'm trying to push him down towards the ground.
Police say the woman was attacked by her ex-boyfriend just before 8 Wednesday night.
He actually nicked me right here.
You can see where Alan was cut as he and others wrestled the man to the ground.
And so as we were lowering him, I feel as when he caught me with one of his knives.
The woman was rushed to the hospital but didn't survive. Police have arrested the victim's ex. This photo shows the New Hampshire man being loaded into an ambulance. Investigators say he was already wanted in connection to an armed home invasion in Ayer. That happened earlier this year and involved the same victim. Police say he broke into the home wearing a mask and attacked the woman with a stun gun. Now that man is facing more charges, including murder.
I wish it didn't happen. I wish there weren't violent people out there looking to harm other people. I wish that wasn't the case.
The restaurant released a statement saying their thoughts are with the victim and her family.
A Stop and Shop in Hyde Park
Yeah,
is
right.
back open after a stabbing scare. Police say a man was stabbed right inside of this store. It was last night at the store on Truman Parkway. Boston police say the man who was stabbed is an employee there, and he's expected to be okay. 2 people have been arrested.
Sure.
A 5-year-old is pulled from a pool in Methuen. It happened at a condo building on East Street. Emergency crews say a woman saw the girl floating in the water, got her out, and performed CPR. Firefighters then revived the child and took her to Lawrence General Hospital. State police rescued 5 teens from the middle of a pond in Plymouth. Investigators say the teens were on a dock that floated away from the shore. None of them could swim. A state police helicopter flew above them, shining a light so that a rescue boat could pick them up.
A water warning for beachgoers in Wareham, closing Swift Neck Beach because of high levels of a bacteria in the water.
Sure.
The Board of Health says that the beach is going to be closed until further notice. Water samples didn't meet sampling standards. The town hasn't yet said when it's going to reopen to swimmers.
A cart catastrophe for the Dighton Youth Baseball and Softball League. A brand new golf cart is stolen just as the leagues plan to host 5 all-star tournaments this summer. They set up a GoFundMe page to raise money for a new cart. Police say anyone with information about the stolen cart should call them.
We're following more news today. Protesters taking to the streets in Texas as the immigration battle continues heating up. Hundreds of people protested the treatment of migrant children held in detention facilities on Thursday. The march comes just days after government inspectors released a report detailing problems with migrant facilities in South Texas. And in Washington, the president says the Justice Department is hard at work. He says he'll be adding a citizenship question to the 2020 census. Republican lawmakers pointing at the fingers at Democrats.
The only ones who don't want to ask the question, Democrats in Washington.
Shut
That's
the
the only
fuck
one.
up, you cocksucker.
The census was set to be printed without the question earlier this week after the Supreme Court ruled to block it. Happening today, it's John Sanders' last day as acting chief of Customs and Border Protection.
Good, he's a
He
piece
announced
of
his
shit.
departure last month without giving a reason why. The acting Secretary of Immigration and
I'm
Customs
resigning
Enforcement
because I'm
will
a
be
piece
taking
of
over
shit.
Sanders' position.
That's
A
no
congressman
secret.
is cutting ties with the Republican Party.
Jesus.
In an op-ed in the Washington Post, Michigan Congressman Justin Amash says he's becoming an independent. The former
Look at him.
Republican
Can I get a
has been
government
critical
job?
of President Trump.
Fucking
Amash
maggots.
was the first Republican lawmaker to call for impeachment
Nobody
hearings.
with a gun
He
to
says the
clean the
two-party
fucking house
system in
up.
the
That's a
country
fucking
is
shame.
threatening American
Another
values.
puke.
We may sometimes even misapply our own principles, but what we share as Americans is far more powerful and important than our political
I'd love
identities.
somebody to run up there and beat him with a
Our
fucking
differences
bat.
aren't meaningless. It's our diversity with our various backgrounds and ideas that make this country such a unique,
Smack him right
exciting
in the
place to
fucking
live.
head. Fucking
In a tweet
puke.
from the president, he writes, "Great news for the Republican Party as one of the dumbest and most disloyal men in Congress is quitting the party. No collusion, no obstruction. Knew he couldn't get the nomination to run again in the great state of Michigan. Already being challenged for his seat, a total loser."
Fucking tweets
We're now
like a little
getting a look at
teenage
some new
kid.
video out of a shopping mall
Christ.
shooting that happened in California.
Scummy,
Surveillance
sucking
video right
piece
here
of shit,
shows
Trump.
2 gunmen opening fire right inside the mall on
Look at him
Tuesday.
monkey,
2
look at
people
him.
were hit by bullets. They were taken to
I
the
want the
hospital.
good
Police say
job.
the gunmen were shooting at each other after an argument
little Linky
escalated.
on
They
the
are
phone.
still searching for those 2 shooters.
A fire in a fireworks store in South Carolina sparking a lot of
Fucking
problems
Jesus
for
Christ.
firefighters.
Yeah. Now look about as fucking fake as it gets.
Firefighters were dodging the explosives, as you see here. They blasted
see
into
right
the
here,
sky.
like over
They were
there.
on scene for
It was
hours
dodging.
trying to get this under control.
I
A
gotta
witness
stop
says
putting the news
he
up.
heard the pops and rushed over to check out the chaos.
You see all the smoke, the smell was in the air, so it was a lot. It was more than
You could see
couldn't
the
really
smoke.
stand
The
around
smell was
because
in the
there was so
air.
much smoke in the air from the fireworks.
What a fucking
Luckily, no
queer.
one was hurt in these explosions. You always need to be careful around fireworks.
Yeah, and you think, where are some of the worst places to have a fire?
Look at
a
this
building
fucking
filled
jerk
with
off.
fireworks.
Yeah,
So-
don't want to be anywhere near that.
Dar,
5:41 is your time. Still ahead on the news station this
Oh,
morning. A
soon as we're ready to
very
stop
special
punching
message.
their
Love this
fucking
story.
heads in.
From Boston Mayor Marty Walsh to this young Blues fan after the Blues
Jesus
Stanley Cup win.
Christ.
Then 11 and the gang are back, and so
Drop
are
it
the
right on his little
monsters. The
fucking
cast
head.
of Stranger Things. Dishes about the new season out now.
Yeah.
And the heat that we saw yesterday will continue into the day today. Could see a few spots into low 90s yet again this afternoon. Latest details.
If you have to go anywhere this morning, I have a surprise for you.
Christ,
I'll
get the
explain
broads
after
off
the break.
TV.
And
Jesus
we're following
fuck, it's
breaking
like a
news
model
from
show.
overnight. 2 people shot in a Dorchester park. One of them an 8-year-old girl. She's going to be okay.
Where?
The
Where?
other victim, though, seriously
Oh, I can
injured.
see her
We'll
face
update
right
you
there,
live from the
sticking out
scene.
the window.
And also in Dorchester,
Yeah,
2
right there.
buildings burning early this morning. The flames leaving 6 families
Yeah.
without a place
Firefighter,
to
that's a
stay.
cripple.
Don't go away. 7 News Today in New England. We'll be right back.
Don't bother. You people suck. Rat cock suckers, every fucking one is. Jesus Christ. Fucking news is fucking disgusting. Can't even make it the fuck up with these rat motherfuckers.